guys, welcome back to another SITS video. My name is Isaiah. I'm the leader of the hardware and intake. Today we're going to be teaching you on PCPartPicker.com how to build a PC and choose the parts. Sometimes if you want to build a PC but you don't understand really how the parts work and what's compatible and what's not, so this video is basically going to be like a walkthrough video on how to build a PC. This is really for a gaming PC, but you can take this for anything you really want to do. We're pretty much just going to go straight down the line here, picking out parts, starting with CPU. The main two things you have to look for when you're picking for a CPU is if you want to go with Intel or AMD. They're the two biggest CPU or processor brands on the market, so it's basically you have to pick which one you'd like to go with. They have different benefits for each one. We can, talk about that in another video. Today we are going to be going with the Intel Core i5 12600K. We're choosing this processor, and the processors actually come with like a built-in fan in the box, but normally they're pretty crappy, and if we're going to be having a gaming machine, we are going to want a CPU cooler. So CPU cooler is optional if you're kind of on a budget and don't have like a super high demanding system, because they already come with a little dinky one. But we are going to pick one out today, and we are going to go with this one. This is a liquid cooler. You might have seen before pictures of like these big custom loops that's kind of complicated to do, so it's nothing like that. It's just it's a lot easier. You just install it. So we're going to be going with this one right here, this Cooler Master one. The next thing we want to do is the motherboard. Now the motherboard already it'll show it'll default to the socket type. You see all these socket types are the same, but they have different, I don't know if they're even being on here, but if we would have picked an AMD processor or a different generation of the Intel processors, it would have showed a different socket type. So PCPartPicker is nice because it already lets us get the right motherboard for us with the right thing. What we're looking for here, form factor basically means size. So if you get, there's different types of cases, like micro ATX, ATX, there's mini ITX, and that type of thing. So those are the same as case form factor. So the thing is, ATX is standard, it's the biggest one. If you get an ATX case, you can fit a micro ATX motherboard in it. But if you get a micro ATX case, then you can't fit an ATX motherboard in it. So that's one thing you have to look out for. Generally, most people are just going to get an ATX motherboard. That's just generally the thing we're going for. If you look at memory max, that's just showing how much storage you can possibly fit if you maxed out all your RAM modules. So we're not going to do that anyway, but we're just going to pick this one. It's MSI Mag B6600 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. It comes with a built-in Wi-Fi card. Not all motherboards do, so that's something to you can read the description of them and they should say if they do or not, if you don't have Ethernet available to you. So we're going to add this one, and then the next thing we're going to need to do is choose the memory. Alright, the next thing we're going to get into is memory. If you don't know what memory is, you've probably heard of RAM. That's just what it's called, the random access memory. The main thing we're going to look for here is the speed and also the modules. So you'll notice they all say DDR4. You can guess that this is just the 4th generation DDR, which is standard at the moment. DDR5 is out, but it's not really standard yet. It's not something that gets used too much. The other thing is also going to be how many gigs. You hear people talk about, I have 8 gigs RAM or something like that. So if you wanted more or less, more RAM doesn't always mean it's better. If it's if you had DDR3 RAM at a crappy speed, that's just not better than DDR4 RAM. So we're going to be getting DDR4. We're going to be going with this top one here. It's a really good price for what you get. You get 3200 speed. One thing that you have to watch out about RAM is you can use this thing called dual channel memory and enable it in your BIOS. It's what you use when you have two of the same things, both the same speed. So on my computer, when I built it a while ago, I was not very smart, and I had 8 gigs of RAM. One was 3200 megahertz of speed, and I was stupid and bought another 8 gig stick that was 3400, so I couldn't optimize that the way that I should have been. So it's just stupid on me. Thing with PCPartPicker, normally it suggests some of the best things for you already at the top. So we're gonna go with this one. If you care about aesthetics, you can see pictures like this one's RGB, or if you want white sticks or that kind of thing, but it doesn't really matter for me. You can add this. The next thing we're going to is not more memory. You can add more memory if you want. We're gonna go to storage. So storage, I'm sure most people are familiar with SSDs and hard drives. We're going to be getting both, one SSD and one hard drive. The SSD is going to be mainly for the operating system, so everything is running smooth on there. But then the hard drive is going to be for like bigger applications, like bigger games and that kind of thing. So the thing you have to know, we'll filter it to just SSD here. There is two types of SSDs, and there is the M.2s and the SATAs. So SATA is the same way that you plug in your hard drives. Generally, M.2 is just way faster, way better technology for SSDs. So that's what we're going to go with. So if you come here, we're just going to get this one right here. It's M.2. It's a terabyte. It's $109, but that's pretty good. You get a lot for that. So we're going to add that. We're going to add some additional storage here. And now we want to get hard drive. So the thing with the hard drive is they don't even like label them hard drive on here. They just have the different speeds. We want to go with 7200 RPM. And we're just going to go with the top one right here. One thing that's actually cool on here is you can see like the price per gigabyte actually shows it, which is pretty cool. 2 terabytes is decent depending on how many games you keep installed on your game. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive and it's going pretty good for me. I haven't had to uninstall anything, but I'm pushing my limits, so I might need to upgrade here. But $50, not really bad at all for that. It's pretty good. And that is it for storage. Okay, now on to everyone's favorite, choosing a GPU. So our video card. So one thing too I didn't talk about before either, let me go back actually, is the CPUs. Some CPUs come with integrated graphics, so you can see some of these Intel graphics or none. What that means is you don't need a video card to have a display. So like for a machine that isn't used for gaming, you don't really need a video card, especially when it's going to be most likely your most expensive component in your machine. It's kind of like something stupid to go for. Thankfully, the market is finally back down for GPUs. All these GPUs used to be very, very expensive, and they're pretty reasonable now. So we're gonna go with this 3060 right here. The difference in between the GPUs are kind of minor, and that's something that just when you're trying to find one, you do some more research on. Obviously you can look at the memory and the speeds for them here, and that'll help you, but other than that, it's kind of just, for me, I'm always just looking for what the best deal is. So we're gonna go with this one right here. Add it. The next thing we need to do is choose a case. So like I said before, it has to match the motherboard. Our motherboard is ATX, so that means we want an ATX case. So cases, not much matters other than the form factor at all. There's also you can look up like a picture, there's a diagram for mid towers and full towers and all that type of stuff. There's a bunch of different ones. If you can just see the different sizes. Some of them come with power supplies, but very rarely they do. So that all these you'll see are just none. You can look at these pictures on here and click on them and see. You can see the ones that have the tempered glass, and some of them that like have tinted ones. This one's tinted, you can see this one's like more clear, you can kind of see. These are one things that you do kind of want to, I would care the most about aesthetic, if you care about that kind of thing, is your case. So we're just going to go with this one. I kind of like this. I like this white one right here. NZXT is a good brand for cases. One thing to note too is like your airflow, and also if you click on it here, oh actually this doesn't have very good picture, but you can see different spots in the back and stuff to feed your cables. Some cases don't have that, and it's just a real pain to put everything. So this is a good one right here. We're gonna go with this case, and that's it for the case. All right, now we're on the power supply. The thing about the power supply, if you just click on this, it's kind of confusing. You see, you know, gold, bronze, platinum, all these different wattages. You know, how do I know if I need 1200 or if I need 500? Like, it's not very self-explanatory. PCPartPicker does a great job giving us an estimated wattage on how much our machine is going to be putting out. So it says 449. Does that mean you want exactly a 450 watt power supply? No, maybe 600, 500, something in that range. So if we go into power supply, the most important thing is you're going to see if it's modular or not. So most of these are, which is good. Some of them are not, and some of them are semi-modular. So we're going to explain what that means real quick. So if we click on this, you can see these pictures here. If you look, there are slots where you can plug and unplug things like you do and don't need. Okay. If you didn't have that, see, in your power supply, you're not going to use every single cable that you have. They give you more than you really need, so then you can add a bunch of stuff on. So if you don't have a modular one, you just have so many extra cables in your PC that you have to try to find somewhere to put, and it's just very annoying, and it's worth it to get a fully modular one. So we're going to be going with this 650 watt one right here, and it's definitely not the cheapest one, but that's just what we're going with for now. Right now we are at $13.54. The other thing too that's nice is it gives you, like, for example, you can find these different components on all different places, but it tells you which websites are the best ones. So like this one's on Amazon, this one's on Newegg, like the best places to get them, which is very nice. Pretty much the next thing that you would worry about is if you wanted to get like mice or keyboards or something. An operating system is important to talk about. So most I assume you guys are going to be going with Windows. If you are, you can get Windows for free, and you can see down here I have a little activate Windows thing. That's because mine is the free version of Windows, which is just what happens. It is not worth it, in my opinion, to pay, let's see how much it is. These basically in between 100 and 200 bucks for Windows that doesn't have this slightly transparent watermark. If you buy like a PC somewhere, sometimes they'll have a activation code. If you haven't used it, you could, use that, but it, in my opinion, it's not worth it to pay that extra money. But this is it for the PC. This is, just kind of showing you what PCPartPicker can do, how it's useful, and like, because it's very overwhelming trying to pick out parts. So I hope this guide helped you. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.